What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay back with another video, man. And pretty much in this video, we talking about my build, Shred-Titian. Now remember, this is just a blueprint. You can move all this stuff to wherever you want, but this is how I like to run it. So as you see here, I got the house, responsive, unforgiving. You can roll off unforgiving and have deadly if you want. That'd probably be a better fit. Doesn't really matter. It's all up to you, bro. All up to you. But at the Tommy gun, that's my secondary. I'll probably swap this out with the Showstopper or Big Alejandro to get the Tactician stacks up faster, if you know what I'm saying. So, first things first, we got Vigorous Chest Piece. It doesn't have to be firearms. It doesn't matter. Just as long as my values at the top are the same, or however you want to have it ran, pretty much. But I know this is what works for me. So, the main priorities for this build is Skill Haste and then Exotic Damage Resilience. The reason why Skill Haste is first is because since we getting the 15% extra Skill Haste from the Tactician backpack, we might as well go ahead and spec in Skill Haste and try to get it up as high as possible. Because right now, when I hit my stacks, my booster shot cooldown goes down in like 25 seconds, which is really good. So, I honestly, if you wanted to run competent on your house, that'll probably be really good too. Because you're getting the booster shot, then you're getting the boost from competent, then you're getting the boost from responsive, all that right away, So that'd be pretty good. But anyway, so on this, I would actually rather have, instead of health, have Exotic Damage Resilience. Just go ahead and keep stacking up that Exotic Damage Resilience just for that Predator mark. Because honestly, I didn't have any problems with Predator marks when I was running with this build, because my heals come back so fast, so I can keep constantly healing myself. But anyway, we have the Savage Gloves here. And I know you guys haven't seen Savage Gloves on the build in a while, but these are still very viable, and this plays an essential role in my build. This is how I hit close to the cap and critical hit chance. Since there's really no other gloves I could run, I might as well run Savage Gloves. So, for the backpack though, with the major attributes, if your aim is terrible, instead of running health, I would suggest you run stability mods. For sure. Remember, it doesn't matter what your critical hit chance is, it doesn't matter what your critical hit damage is, it doesn't matter what your headshot damage is. If you can't land hits, it doesn't matter. Your DPS, it won't matter. Whoever can land the hits will win the fight at the end of the day. So just remember that, keep that in the back of your head. But tips for this build, like I said, Exotic Damage Resilience comes after Skill Haste. Make sure you have Skill Haste first, and then make sure you have Exotic Damage Resilience. And then after that, you can pretty much pick and choose what type of resistances other than that you want. So you can go into burn resistance or shock resistance or whatever you want to do. So as you see here, we're in the shooting range. I'm about to go ahead and stack this up to 30, so then you can see what my skill power would be like once it hits 30, which I'm telling you, this build is deadly. So, my skill power is now at 164,000. And my DPS is near 400k. Like, keep that in mind. Like, and I'm not squishy by any means because my heal comes back so fast. So, you see that pulse? I got 1520 on my pulse, right? So, we do 1520. And then I also have my booster shot, which gives me over 100k in heals. 100k in heals. I popped that at the beginning of the fight. That goes straight into overheal. So with my talents, I'm running adrenaline. And the reason why I'm running adrenaline is because this is so underrated. Because everybody's running shock turns nowadays. So when you pop that med kit to stop the bleed, or when you pop a med kit just to get your health back up, not only will you get the critical save, so you get that damage resistance, but you will also be immune to those shock turns or those flame turrets for at least about 7 seconds, and that should give you enough time to get up out of there, or that should give you enough time to finish off an enemy. Dude, this is so important. If with any PvP build, like I wasn't hip to this before, but I'm hip to it now. I just happened to try it out, and I went against these guys. It was like 3 Predator marks, and it was like a striker, and they were all running like shock turns. So it really helped me out then. So I was just like running it. But anyway, as you see here, my critical hit chance is 36%. Well, remember, you add 7 because of my Savage gloves, and then you add about 15% on top of that. So that's going to be close to cap. It's not going to exactly be at cap, but it will be extremely close. And then my critical hit damage is also pretty high at the same time. So my critical hit damage was like 94%, while my skill haste is 43%. So that's fairly good for a pretty much basic build that you probably won't see too many people run. This is not meta, but it will destroy the meta. I would say one thing that it might have a tough time against is possibly a striker if you're trying to face tank and the battle goes on too long. So if you're trying to fight a striker with this, you have to put the initial damage on the striker right away before they get stacks on you. If the striker gets stacks on you, then it can become a real sticky situation. But with Predator Mark, you will rip a Predator Mark, bro. Like, I'm not kidding. Especially if you run competent on your gun. Once you pop that booster shot and then pop the pulse, you will rip through a Predator Mark. Like, I'm dead serious. It's ridiculous. Like, I took this into skirmish. I took this into last stand. Went against some Predator Mark people, and I ripped through the Predator Mark. So go ahead and keep that in mind. But anyway, this pretty much sums up this video. It's your boy Jay. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.